What would I do if I had £25,000? I was starting from ground zero, no experience in property, no knowledge, brand new area. On this video, I'm going to share it all. Simon here, just on the scene of one of my latest property renovations, so excuse the noise. There's like 10 guys working really hard. But in this video, I want to talk to you about what I would do if I had £25,000 to invest in property, probably rent to rent. That's why you're watching this channel, all right? And how I would go about building my business. Now, the first thing I would really urge you to ask yourself is what your goals are, all right? Some people, some of you might not want a property business. You might not want a handful of properties or more. You might just want to put that into an investment, forget about it, outsource the management. You know the returns won't be great, but you're happy to do that. And if that's you, be my guest, go ahead and get yourself a buy to let. You're probably not really going to have enough money to do a BRR because you would need a deposit and some refurb funds. So you're pretty much going to buy a property for around 80 to 90 grand, somewhere up north. You're going to get a single let tenant. You're going to hope the interest rates don't crush your profits, so you're going to sit there. I'm not biased at all. But if you're watching this channel, there's a chance you probably want a little bit more than that. You know, a few £100 a month is not going to make a big difference to your life unless you're going to raise finance and really scale up. But remember, I said at the beginning, I've got no experience. I don't really know what I'm doing. So for me, the first place I would start is I would look at getting educated. I think you have to get the knowledge, and that's going to allow you to make the 25 grand go further than just a buy to let in Rotherham. So how much would I allocate out of the 25? It really just depends. If I felt like I was cool with just a course and then I'm going to crack on, a few grand. If I felt like I needed more support, you can invest 5, 10, 15,000 pounds on more one-to-one coaching. That's up to you. All right. So that's basically what I would be doing. Then what I would be doing is I would then be investing my knowledge, all right, and making sure that I then invest the remainder of the money in as many high quality rent to rents as possible. Now you're going to find serviced accommodations on the whole are cheaper startup costs and potentially higher returns, but they can be up and down in terms of the occupancy. So it's not going to be consistent every single month. All right. So if I was doing my figures, I would probably do them on 75% occupancy. Now, the fact of the matter is, right, that when you are doing any business, there's going to be a point where you run out of money. That's why all these tech companies, they have rounds of funding. So in some ways, rather than being really protective of this money, I'm using this money as seed money. In other words, what that means is, can I get proof of concept that this works? Because check this out, the average rent to rent deal might make you £1,000 a month. And if you sign it for 5 years, that's £60,000. So let's just say, for argument's sake, you spent all 25 grand on education on one deal. You're still gonna almost triple your money in terms of the return. It's still a great return on your money. So rather than like putting too much pressure on the money, I would get educated and then try and get proof of concept for this deal. Would I diversify? No. Diversifying is for punks, all right? That's the next step. At the beginning, you need to be all in on something. You need to become great at it. You need to get proof of concept. And then once you've got that, you're going to be in a way better position to raise finance, because you can say, hey, mum, hey, mate, I've done this. I've invested this. This is the return I'm getting. Would you be willing to invest in my next one? And then you can look at joint ventures, etc. Now, I wouldn't diversify, but this is the final thing that I would look at doing. I would never want to go to zero. So if you've got rainy day funds, great. You know, maybe 3 months, 6 months running costs would be beautiful depending on your situation. Then that's fantastic. What I mean by that is if you put £1,500 in and your partner puts £1,500 in to your joint account and your monthly costs are £1,500, I'd maybe put 5 grand aside so you've got 3 months of rainy day funds. If you work for the NHS, probably don't need to because you're going to get good income. If you've just been made redundant, something like that might make sense. So keep a little bit in the back because that's going to give you the confidence and the peace of mind so that you can commit to this and you can do it right. Final point, okay? Final point. If you are absolutely adamant, all right, that rent to rent's for you, that you want to do this, you're getting educated, you've got your first deal, and you feel like you can actually scale this business, trust me, the money will not get in the way, all right? But you've got to have the vision, you've got to have the belief. That's what I did, which is why my first deal I had to borrow $4,000, and then for deals 2, I had to do a joint venture, and then for deals 3, 4, 5, and 6, I had to take a $20,000 loan. But first, get educated so that money is in safe hands. Hope you found this useful, and good luck.